Welcome to this TNR training video on TNR Terminology. I'm your host, Athena. This is just one video in a series designed for new TNR volunteers with Campus Cats of Athens, Georgia. If you're not with Campus Cats, welcome, thanks for watching, and I hope this video is helpful, but keep in mind that some specific references might not apply to your situation. Let's start with a question to see what you remember from training. What does TNR stand for? Trap, nip, release, trap, neuter, return, tacos, nougat, ravioli, testicles, nipples, reproduction. Pause the video, think about your answer, and come back when you're ready to move on. B is correct. Trap, neuter, return is the standard meaning for TNR, but sometimes trap, neuter, release is also used. Now let's look at why it's important to know some basic TNR terminology. Take a minute or two now to think about why and how basic TNR-related terminology is important. Why is having a common language beneficial? What are some TNR terms you learned from the group training with Kelly? First, knowing some basic terminology allows you to correctly identify the types of cats and colonies you're dealing with, which makes communication with other animal rescue groups, shelters, veterinarians, and spay-neuter clinics much easier because you're all speaking the same language. We'll start with some cat-specific terminology. What terms do you remember from training that are specifically cat-related? Take a minute now to consider. A feral cat is the same species as our pet cats, Felis catus, but is afraid of people, usually because it grew up without human contact. You'll know a cat is feral if it runs away when approached by people. Ferals cannot be adopted into homes and will be euthanized immediately if taken to a shelter that doesn't have a TNR or barn cat program. Ferals like these three here usually look clean and well groomed in spite of living outside. They're used to it and aren't stressed by it as long as they're not also sick. The semi-feral category is a little fuzzy, but generally refers to a cat that is feral except with one person, who's usually the one who feeds it. The term stray refers to someone's pet kitty that is either allowed outside but still cared for, or has been abandoned. These cats usually seek human attention. A stray cat will be well groomed if it's just outside enjoying itself, but abandoned tamed cats tend to look unkempt because they haven't been grooming normally from the stress of finding themselves homeless and outside in the weather. A free-roaming cat is usually someone's pet that is allowed to go outside and roam at its leisure. The term community cat usually refers to one that is fed by several people but not claimed by anyone. The cat could be feral or tame. Eartip is a kind of a misnomer because it means the cat has had the tip of one ear removed. This is done with the left ear while the cat is anesthetized for spay or neuter surgery, and cats don't even notice it. You can see an example in the yellow circle on this kitty's left ear. The tipping is an important part of a TNR project because it allows anyone to identify which cats have been spayed or neutered and vaccinated for rabies. Next, let's have a look at some colony-specific terminology. What terms do you remember from training that are colony-specific? Take a minute now to think about these. A colony is a group of feral cats that share a food source. In a lot of cases, most of the cats are related because they've been reproducing with each other, but this might not be the instance if the colony is newly established. An unmanaged colony is one in which the cats have not been sterilized or vaccinated. In contrast, a managed colony is one in which TNR is being utilized, a caregiver is identified, and cats are provided with food, water, and shelter. A colony caregiver is in charge of a managed colony. Caregivers provide food, water, and shelter and monitor the health of kitties in their colony. In some cases, the caregiver also does the TNR. A feeder is someone who is feeding cats in a colony but is not managing the colony through TNR. Ideally, we would convert all feeders into colony caregivers. Now we'll take a quick look at some trap types. Consider for a few minutes the types of traps you learned about from group training. What are they? How do they differ? What are the costs and benefits of each? The three most common trap types are the standard version, shown here, the kitten trap, shown here, and the drop trap, which is shown here. More details about each trap type are covered in the video entitled Trap Types, so check that out if you're looking for more information. Here's a question to wrap up our terminology video. What is the primary benefit of the ear tip? A. Cats are less likely to fight with each other. B. Males and females are easy to tell apart. C. It shows that a cat has been spayed or neutered. Or D. It identifies a cat's colony. I recommend you pause the video, think about your answer, and come back when you're ready to see what it is. C is correct. The ear tip is important for being able to identify cats that have already been spayed or neutered as part of a TNR program. I hope this video on TNR terminology was helpful. Thanks to Kelly for the use of some of her photos here, and thanks for watching.